Amos, Amos. Chapter 1. The words of Amos, who was among the herdmen of Tekoa, which he saw concerning Yasharel in the days of Uzziahu, king of Yehudah, and in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Yasharel, 2 years before the earthquake. And he said, Yahuah will roar from Sion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the habitations of the shepherds shall mourn, and the top of Carmel shall wither. Thus says Yahuah, for 3 transgressions of Damascus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have threshed Gilad with threshing instruments of iron. But I will send a fire into the house of Hazael, which shall devour the palaces of Ben-Hadad. I will break also the bar of Damascus, and cut off the inhabitant from the plain of Awen, and him that holds the scepter from the house of Beth-Eden. And the people of Aram shall go into captivity unto Kir, says Yahuah. Thus says Yahuah, for 3 transgressions of Uzzah, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity, to deliver them up to Edom. But I will send a fire on the wall of Uzzah, which shall devour the palaces thereof. And I will cut off the inhabitant from Ashdod, and him that holds the scepter from Ashkelon. And I will turn mine hand against Ekron, and the remnant of the Pelishti shall perish, says Adonai Yahuah. Thus says Yahuah, for 3 transgressions of Tzor, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remembered not the brotherly covenant. But I will send a fire on the wall of Tzor, which shall devour the palaces thereof. Thus says Yahuah, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will set a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Botzrah. Thus says Yahuah, for 3 transgressions of the children of Ammon, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have ripped up the women with child of Gilad, that they might enlarge their border. But I will kindle a fire in the wall of Rabbah, and it shall devour the palaces thereof, with shouting in the day of battle, with a tempest in the day of the whirlwind. And their king shall go into captivity, he and his princes together, says Yahuah. Chapter 2. Thus says Yahuah, for 3 transgressions of Moab, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he burned the bones of the king of Edom into lime. But I will send fire upon Moab, and it shall devour the palaces of Kerioth. And Moab shall die with tumult, with shouting, and with the sound of the trumpet. And I will cut off the judge from the midst thereof, and will slay all the princes thereof with him, says Yahuah. Thus says Yahuah, for 3 transgressions of Yehudah, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have despised the Torah of Yahuah, and have not kept his commandments, and their lies caused them to err, after which their fathers have walked. But I will send a fire upon Yehudah, and it shall devour the palaces of Jerusalem. Thus says Yahuah, for 3 transgressions of Yasharel, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they sold the righteous for silver, and the poor for a pair of shoes, that pant after the dust of the earth on the head of the poor, and turn aside the way of the meek. And a man and his father will go in unto the same maid to profane my holy name. And they lay themselves down upon clothes laid to pledge by every altar, and they drink the wine of the condemned in the house of their God. Yet destroyed I the Emori before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars, and he was strong as the oaks, yet I destroyed his fruit from above, and his roots from beneath. Also I brought you up from the land of Mitzrayim, and led you 40 years through the wilderness, to possess the land of the Emori. And I raised up your sons for prophets, and of your young men for Nazir. Is it not even thus, O you children of Yasharel? Says Yahuah. But you gave the Nazir wine to drink, and commanded the prophets, saying, Prophesy not. Behold, I am pressed under you, as a cart is pressed that is full of sheaves. Therefore the flight shall perish from the swift, and the strong shall not strengthen his force, neither shall the mighty deliver himself. Neither shall he stand that handles the bow, and he that is swift of foot shall not deliver himself, neither shall he that rides the horse deliver himself. And he that is courageous among the mighty shall flee away naked in that day, says Yahuah. Chapter 3. Hear this word that Yahuah has spoken against you, O children of Yasharel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Mitzrayim, saying, You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. Can two walk together except they be agreed? Will a lion roar in the forest when he has no prey? Will a young lion cry out of his den if he have taken nothing? Can a bird fall in a snare upon the earth, where no gin is for him? Shall one take up a snare from the earth and have taken nothing at all? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and Yahuah has not done it? Surely Adonai Yahuah will do nothing, but he reveals his secret unto his servants the prophets. The lion has roared, who will not fear? Adonai Yahuah has spoken, who can but prophesy? Publish in the palaces at Ashdod, and in the palaces in the land of Mitzrayim, and say, Assemble yourselves upon the mountains of Shomeron, and behold the great tumults in the midst thereof, and the oppressed in the midst thereof. For they know not to do right, says Yahuah, who store up violence and robbery in their palaces. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, an adversary there shall be even round about the land, and he shall bring down your strength from you, and your palaces shall be spoiled. Thus says Yahuah, as the shepherd takes out of the mouth of the lion 2 legs or a piece of an ear, so shall the children of Yasharel be taken out that dwell in Shomeron, in the corner of a bed, and in Damasek in a couch. Hear you, and testify in the house of Yaakov, says Adonai Yahuah, the Elohim Tsebah, that in the day that I shall visit the transgressions of Yasharel upon him, I will also visit the altars of Bethel, and the horns of the altar shall be cut off, and fall to the ground. And I will smite the winter house with the summer house, and the houses of ivory shall perish, and the great houses shall have an end, says Yahuah. Chapter 4. Hear this word, you cow of Bashan, that are in the mountain of Shomeron, which oppresses the poor, which crush the needy, which say to their masters, Bring and let us drink. Adonai Yahuah has sworn by his holiness that, lo, the day shall come upon you, that he will take you away with hooks, and your posterity with fish hooks. And you shall go out at the breaches, every cow at that which is before her, and you shall cast them into the palace, says Yahuah. Come to Bethel and transgress. At Gilgal multiply transgression, and bring your sacrifices every morning, and your tithes after 3 years, and offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving with leaven, and proclaim and publish the free offerings. For this likes you, O children of Yasharel, says Adonai Yahuah, and I also have given you cleanness of teeth in all your cities, and want of bread in all your places. Yet have you not returned unto me, says Yahuah. And also I have withheld the rain from you, when there were yet 3 months to the harvest, and I caused it to rain upon one city, and caused it not to rain upon another city. One piece was rained upon, and the piece whereupon it rained not withered. So 2 or 3 cities wandered unto one city to drink water, but they were not satisfied, yet have you not returned unto me, says Yahuah. I have smitten you with blasting and mildew, when your gardens and your vineyards and your fig trees and your olive trees increased. The palmer worm devoured them, yet have you not returned unto me, says Yahuah. I have sent among you the pestilence after the manner of Mitzrayim. Your young men have I slain with the sword, and have taken away your horses, and I have made the stink of your camps to come up unto your nostrils. Yet have you not returned unto me, says Yahuah. I have overthrown some of you, as Elohim overthrew Sodom and Amorah, and you were as a firebrand plucked out of the burning. Yet have you not returned unto me, says Yahuah. Therefore thus will I do unto you, O Yasharel, and because I will do this unto you, prepare to meet your Elohim, O Yasharel. For lo, he that forms the mountains and creates the wind, and declares unto man what is his thought, that makes the morning darkness and treads upon the high places of the earth. Yahuah, the Elohim Tsebah, is his name. Chapter 5. Hear you this word which I take up against you, even a lamentation, O house of Yasharel. The virgin of Yasharel is fallen. She shall no more rise. She is forsaken upon her land. There is none to raise her up. For thus says Adonai Yahuah, the city that went out by 1,000 shall leave 100, and that which went forth by 100 shall leave 10, to the house of Yasharel. For thus says Yahuah unto the house of Yasharel, Seek you me, and you shall live. But seek not Bethel, nor enter into Gilgal, and pass not to Beer-sheba, for Gilgal shall surely go into captivity, and Bethel shall come to nothing. Seek Yahuah, and you shall live, lest he break out like fire in the house of Yosef, and devour it, and there be none to quench it in Bethel. You who turn judgment into wormwood and leave off righteousness in the earth, seek him that makes the 7 stars and Kesil, and turns the shadow of death into the morning, and makes the day dark with night, that calls for the waters of the sea, and pours them out upon the face of the earth. Yahuah is his name. That strengthens the spoiled against the strong, so that the spoiled shall come against the fortress. They hate him that rebukes in the gate, and they abhor him that speaks uprightly. Forasmuch therefore as your treading is upon the poor, and you take from him burdens of wheat, you have built houses of hewn stone, but you shall not dwell in them. You have planted pleasant vineyards, but you shall not drink wine of them. For I know your manifold transgressions and your mighty sins. They afflict the just, they take a bribe, and they turn aside the poor in the gate from their right. Therefore the prudent shall keep silence in that time, for it is an evil time. Seek good and not evil, that you may live. And so Yahuah the Elohim Tsebah shall be with you, as you have spoken. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that Yahuah Elohim Tsebah will be gracious unto the remnant of Yosef. Therefore Yahuah, the Elohim Tsebah, Adonai, says thus, Wailing shall be in all streets, and they shall say in all the highways, Alas, alas! And they shall call the husbandmen to mourning, and such as are skillful of lamentation to wailing. And in all vineyards shall be wailing, for I will pass through you, says Yahuah. Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahuah! To what end is it for you? The day of Yahuah is darkness, not light, as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house, and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of Yahuah be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? I despised your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though you offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take you away from me the noise of your songs, for I will not hear the melody of your viols, but let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. Have you offered unto me sacrifices and offerings in the wilderness 40 years, O house of Yasharel? But you have borne the tabernacle of your Molech and Kiyun, your images, the star of your God, which you made to yourselves. Therefore will I cause you to go into captivity beyond Damasek, says Yahuah, whose name is the Elohim Tsebah. Chapter 6. Woe to them that are at ease in Sion, and trust in the mountain of Shomeron, which are named chief of the nations, to whom the house of Yasharel came. Pass you unto Calneh, and see, and from thence go you to Hamath the great, then go down to Gath of the Pelishti. Be they better than these kingdoms, or their border greater than your border? you that put far away the evil day, and cause the seat of violence to come near, that lie upon beds of ivory, and stretch themselves upon their couches, and eat the lambs out of the flock, and the calves out of the midst of the stall, that chant to the sounds of the viol, and invent to themselves instruments of music like the weed, that drink wine in bowls, and anoint themselves with the chief ointments. But they are not grieved for the affliction of Yosef. Therefore now shall they go captive with the first that go captive, and the banquet of them that stretch themselves shall be removed. Adonai Yahuah has sworn by himself, says Yahuah, the Elohim Tsebah, I abhor the excellency of Yaakov, and hate his palaces. Therefore will I deliver up the city with all that is therein. And it shall come to pass, if there remain 10 men in one house, that they shall die. And a man's uncle shall take him up, and he that burns him, to bring out the bones out of the house, and shall say unto him that is by the sides of the house, Is there yet any with you? And he shall say, No. Then shall he say, Hold your tongue, for we may not make mention of the name of Yahuah. For behold, Yahuah commands, and he will smite the great house with breaches, and the little house with clefts. Shall horses run upon the rock? Will one plow there with oxen? For you have turned judgment into gall, and the fruit of righteousness into hemlock. You which rejoice in a thing of naught, which say, Have we not taken to us horns by our own strength? But behold, I will raise up against you a nation, O house of Yasharel, says Yahuah, the Elohim Tsebah, and they shall afflict you from the entering in of Hamath unto the river of the wilderness. Chapter 7. Thus has Adonai Yahuah showed unto me, and behold, he formed grasshoppers in the beginning of the shooting up of the latter growth, and lo, it was the latter growth after the king's mowing. And it came to pass that when they had made an end of eating the grass of the land, then I said, O Adonai Yahuah, forgive, I beseech you, by whom shall Yaakov arise? For he is small. Yahuah repented for this. It shall not be, says Yahuah. Thus has Adonai Yahuah showed unto me, and behold, Adonai Yahuah called to contend by fire, and it devoured the great deep, and did eat up a part. Then said I, O Adonai Yahuah, cease, I beseech you, by whom shall Yaakov arise? For he is small. Yahuah repented for this. This also shall not be, says Adonai Yahuah. Thus he showed me, and behold, Adonai stood upon a wall made by a plumb line, with a plumb line in his hand. And Yahuah said unto me, Amos, what see you? And I said, A plumb line. Then said Adonai, Behold, I will set a plumb line in the midst of my people Yasharel. I will not again pass by them any more. And the high places of Yitzhak shall be desolate, and the sanctuaries of Yasharel shall be laid waste. And I will rise up against the house of Yeroboam with the sword. Then Amaziah, the Kohen of Bethel, sent to Jeroboam, the king of Yasharel, saying, Amos has conspired against you in the midst of the house of Yasharel. The land is not able to bear all his words. For thus Amos says, Jeroboam shall die by the sword, and Yasharel shall surely be led away captive out of their own land. Also Amaziah said unto Amos, O you seer, go, flee you away into the land of Yehudah, and there eat bread, and prophesy there. But prophesy not again any more at Bethel, for it is the king's chapel, and it is the king's court. Then answered Amos, and said unto Amaziah, I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was a herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. And Yahuah took me as I followed the flock. And Yahuah said unto me, Go prophesy unto my people Yasharel. Now, therefore, hear you the word of Yahuah. You say, Prophesy not against Yasharel, and drop not your word against the house of Yitzhak. Therefore, thus says Yahuah, Your wife shall commit idolatry in the city, and your sons and your daughters shall fall by the sword, and your land shall be divided by line, and you shall die in a polluted land. And Yasharel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. Chapter 8. Thus has Adonai Yahuah showed unto me, and behold, a basket of summer fruit. And he said, Amos, what see you? And I said, a basket of summer fruit. Then said Yahuah unto me, The end is come upon my people of Yasharel. I will not again pass by them any more. And the songs of the temple shall be howling in that day, says Adonai Yahuah. There shall be many dead bodies in every place. They shall cast them forth with silence. Hear this, O you that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land to fail, saying, When will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Shabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit, that we may buy the poor for silver and the needy for a pair of shoes, yea, and sell the refuse of the wheat? Yahuah has sworn by the excellency of Yaakov, surely I will never forget any of their works. Shall not the land tremble for this, and every one mourn that dwells therein? And it shall rise up wholly as a flood, and it shall be cast out and drowned, as by the flood of Mitzrayim. And it shall come to pass in that day, says Adonai Yahuah, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the clear day. And I will turn your feasts into mourning, and all your songs into lamentation. And I will bring up sackcloth upon all loins, and baldness upon every head. And I will make it as the mourning of an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day. Behold, the days come, says Adonai Yahuah, that I will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahuah. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. And they shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahuah, and shall not find it. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. They that swear by the sin of Shomeron, and say, Your God, O Dan, lives, and the manner of Be'er Sheba lives, even they shall fall, and never rise up again. Chapter 9. I saw Adonai standing upon the altar, and he said, Smite the lintel of the door, that the posts may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that flees of them shall not flee away, and he that escapes of them shall not be delivered. Though they dig into Sheol, thence shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. And though they go into captivity before their enemies, thence will I command the sword, and it shall slay them. And I will set mine eyes upon them for evil, and not for good. And Adonai Yahuah Tsebah is he that touches the land, and it shall melt, and all that dwell therein shall mourn, and it shall rise up wholly like a flood, and shall be drowned as by the flood of Mitzrayim. It is he that builds his stories in the heavens, and has founded his troop in the earth, he that calls for the waters of the sea, and pours them out upon the face of the earth. Yahuah is his name. Are you not as children of the Cushi unto me, O children of Yasharel? Says Yahuah. Have not I brought up Yasharel out of the land of Mitzrayim, and the Pelishti from Kaphtor, and the Aram from Kir? Behold, the eyes of Adonai Yahuah are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Yaakov, says Yahuah. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Yasharel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, The evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and of all the heathen, which are called by my name, says Yahuah that does this. Behold, the days come, says Yahuah, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that sows seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. And I will bring again the captivity of my people of Yasharel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land which I have given them, says Yahuah your Elohim.